Okay. um, but yeah, and I'm not ashamed to do what I do. But yeah, that was a time when I was in Chicago. I was going through a lot of stuff. God, I had God fear all my life, but this particular time is when I met God for the second time in my life. Now I had visions, I had dreams, I had way before time, but to have like where the motors start to motorize to your name, it's like, whoa, what the hell is going on? Like what, you know? Um, it was in Chicago. The exact year I can't put my finger on it. Actually, I can if I do some research. Better yet, yeah. Let me do something real quick. It was the exact year because it was Juanita Bynum. She came to Pentecostal Church in Chicago on 39th, 38th in Indiana, I believe that was, um, where Bishop Hinton, is it Reverend Hinton? I think his name is, if I can recall. He was the pastor. I think he was the Prion Bishop for the PAW. Um, they had this concert, and Juanita Bynum had her CD release called Passion. My God. Woo! Oh my, this is when my life changed, people. Listen, clearly, this is when my life changed. This is when all doubts went out the window. When transformation of a transformation came into picture. Like, no BS at all. Okay? Um, I was at church. No, I was at work. I was at work. And I left work late. And I'm rushing. Like, oh my God, I gotta go home and change clothes. I'm dirty. I'm feeling that. So I got on the train, got on that Green Line train, head right to Southside. At this time, I was staying on 79th. I was staying on 79th in Kingston, I believe I was. Yeah, I was staying on 79th in Kingston at the time. Had my own place, had my own residence. I got home, changed clothes, freshened. I said, "Oh my God, I get there. I'm running late." So I'm like, it's already like an hour behind time. I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm late. I am late. No, I don't want to miss it." So I missed the bus was coming. I fell, and I slipped, and I fell. Right. So I got on a train, got to I think Indiana Street. I think that's the train station in Chicago. I think at the time. I can't remember. I haven't been in Chicago in a while. But I think it was like the Indiana train. So I got there, went to the church. When I got there, it was like a line out the door. They were like nobody else inside the sanctuary, right? Now, let me tell you, when God say you is meant for you to be somewhere, you is meant for being there, okay? All right, this is the day that my whole life changed, okay? For the better, okay? That's when the journey of storms and submitment, you name, just say, whoa. When I went inside the church, right? So I get there, I say, excuse me. So I'm up here, I got, I'm looking in, me. I'm always been a person that I always carry myself like as if I was important. Like, if I don't come, if I'm not here, nothing going down, okay? Whatever, okay? That just was my attitude. And so I got in the door. As I go in the door, I'm in the hallway, right? And they're like, "Oh no, there was waiting." I say, "Well, I got a seat waiting for me in front. I got seats. I got something. I'm trying to look for my mom. My mom was there. She should already be here." So my phone died. Let me tell you how God worked. Okay, let me tell you how God worked. Okay, my mother comes up. Okay, I'm like in the hall. Like, this is the minute I got there. I'm in the hall, and I'm not in the sanctuary. I'm in the hall. So my mother comes up out of the sanctuary. Like, check this out, people. My mother comes out of the sanctuary. I'm like, okay, wow. And this is like with me being in there for like 7 minutes. I mean, like for like 7 minutes. And my mother comes out of the sanctuary, come outside, and she's like, "Oh, there you go." I said, "Oh." She said, "I felt your spirit out here." She said, "God told me to come out and get you." I said, "Oh." So we get in. So I'm Mr. Shy Man. My mother, she's the type of lady, right? She go to church. She's gonna go in the front of the church, okay? She's not the back stool lady. She's that front lady. The lady that gonna be in the front, okay, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. Talk about you and everything else, okay? But she's gonna keep it real. She's gonna always keep it real. If God didn't give it to her, she ain't, But anyway, um, so I got there, right? So the minute I sit there, right, we're like on the fourth row from the front. Okay, check this out, people. The fourth row from the front. At the same time, my mom is also an evangelist. She also prophetess, prophetess Murphy. For those that do know her or are familiar with her. She's not a big shot like boom boom, but not yet. You know what I mean? God gonna let her rise if He choose to take it to that type of level. It's not for everybody. Sometimes you can have some of these people in the back scene. But anyway, I'm her seed, so therefore, if where I go, she goes. So if she's here in spirit or here in flesh, she'll always be there, even when I'm in the midst of being in the midst of talking anything about God, what have you. They'll always say, "Oh, your mama," because that's what she's embedded in me. That's the key thing she embedded in me. But anyway, let me go on with the story because I can get sidetracked sometimes. Um, so I'm at the church, right? So as you know, the moment I sit down, like literally, I was like there. I was like they're doing like sound check and everything, make sure everything. So they got worship music going on, her CD going on. Then you know, Juanita Bynum comes out. They introduce her out. She comes out, and let me tell you, I'm my mother's seed, so that's a matter I am. At that time, I was not like her. This is like when I heard a story. So Juanita Bynum comes out. She comes on stage, and they play, and she's going to doing the worship thing, and then have you. And I'm trying to get into the spirit. I'm up here nervous. It's God outdoors. You name it. I'm up here just nervous. And so she's up here. She's giving her word. She's talking about good Lord. She's introduced her CD, her CD Passion. And next thing you know, they come on with this record. Oh my God. Okay. This song here, and y'all go check it out. It's a deep song. It will take you to a whole other strain. It was called God dog it. I can't think. Okay, but I got a computer. Hold on. Let me get this down pat, because this song here, this is where the overflow. That's what it's called. It was called Overflow. The overflow. She did that song. Oh my God. When I tell you, my God, boy, what I tell you, she did that song. She's got to singing the song live, and I'm up here, man. When I tell you, I get the feeling stuff going through my body. I get the feeling like this heat sensation. Next, I go into a zone where it's like I transform out of my body into another dimension. Like no BS. No illusionizing, nothing. It's like I transferred to another dimension. And what I remember I was in this room for the number fire all the way around. There was an angel on the side. There was angel on the side. Juanita Bynum was in the middle. Just say that. Juanita Bynum was in the middle. There was angels on both sides of her. Okay, and in this room, I'm like in this fire. I'm like, the whole room is like covered in fire. Okay, and it's like I'm up here crying out. I'm like, oh God, and I just it was like, as they call it, tearing. And so it was like I just gotta say, God, I'm sorry, forgive me, Lord, any way you want to use me. Anyway, and what he pictured to me that same day, while I was zapped out, transformed, however people want to call it, I don't know. I do know what to call it now, but at the time I did not know what to call it. I thought something was crazy going on. I thought I was like going losing my mind. But anyway, I was in this room for the fire. Running by was in the middle, angel on the side, and I'm like crying out, Lord, I'm sorry, and like it was a cry. And so Juanita Bynum reached her hand out. She said, "Don't worry, my child. It's okay. Calm. You okay?" So I don't know if that mean. I don't know if that was. I consider it now, but at the time I did not. But as I imagine back on there, that was the moment where the chain was broken from the demons and the slaying that my rest of the family, did not defeat or whatever. I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, yeah. Next thing you know, I woke up. I'm in a back room. Okay, when I came out of the zap, came into place, whatever, I was in the back room. According to the ambulance and according to my mom and according to other people that was there, they thought I had a seizure. And I did not have a seizure. And so we're in the back. They got the ambulance there. The ambulance like, hey, you with us? What have you? They put putting the light in my eye and everything. I'm like, oh my God, did you see that? Oh my God. They was like, what happened? And I explained to them. They thought it was crazy. And I was like, I explained exactly to them. So my mother, she's snapping. She just snapped. Y'all the motherfuckers demons. Y'all demons. Y'all done messed this boy breakthrough. Y'all, they ain't nothing but some damn witches. Da da da. So she just going off. And I'm like, I'm like zone. So at this time, I'm drained. I'm drained. I'm like, okay, what is going on? I hardly can walk. I hardly can move around. I get to the house. We leave there. I get to the house. I get in the car. I was knocked the fuck out. I was asleep. Okay. The next morning I got up and I just had a whole different attitude with life. Whole different attitude with everything that was on. I was always a motor mouth. I was always the voice for the voiceless. I was always the one that don't mind standing up, manning up, whatever. I was, I was never a liar. No, that I wasn't. Um, I really wasn't. I was not a liar. Like people may project it, but uh, I always try to be honest. I always was honest. What have you? And my life would just change from that day. So every day from that day on, no matter where I went, I had my Bible in my bag, in my book bag. I had my Bible at school. I had my Bible anywhere I went. Any journey I went, on the train, on the buses, I had my Bible, and I wasn't ashamed to play my gospel music all loud on my phone, whatever, you name it. So it's like, boom, this light started to shine on me, as they would say. So from that time frame on, I began to just walk the journey. I even start to even still beat myself up because it's like I can't let go of this desire from me. Like God, what is going? What's going on? What is going on? So one night I was in my room and I was crying. I was after a relationship. I got broken. It was a situation with a relationship, and things got really heated, and I was heartbroken. This was my second relationship. I was heartbroken. And because I was trying to please my family, I was trying to please me, I was trying to please God, I was like all the things that I was raised and told not to do, and all the things that, oh, you're going to have to do this, you're going to have to do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. So I was like, oh, just fearful. Good relationships came, I destroyed them. Why? Because of the way I was raised. Um, the tortures, I would call it now, it had me stop. So that started me. So this particular day, like I said, I was praying, I was asking God, I was up around my 2 o'clock in the morning. I used to always be up around like late nights. And like between the hours like midnight, 5 or whatever, that's like when God was really like boom, 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 boom. And I always write poetry. So I was a poet. I like to write. I love to write. And I was writing poetry. I was writing like letters, life, whatever. I was always a type of person to write everything down, my thoughts, you name it. I had tons of books and folders of various things I wrote, from poetry to you name it. From insight that I got from God, from dreams I start to get, from you name it. And so, like I say, this day, it was like God came to me, he says, I put you in this so you can bring others out. I didn't understand what the hell he mean when he said that. Like, what? I have a desire for a man. You telling me you put me here, and it's like my mom. Okay, this supposed to be the holy one of all. Okay, my mother now. This supposed to be the holy one, and then my family be the holy one. Okay. The Bible said this. Okay. Well, the pastor said this. Well, the deacon said this. Well, because I looked at these people as in my family as individuals as God's serpent, God messenger. But it kind of confused me because the way I was getting treated, and at the same time the things I seen them do, it didn't add up. So it was like, okay, don't question it. And so years went on. I started to say, okay, I'm just gonna trust God. It was my friend girl. Actually, it was my friend girl who actually got me to this point where she was like, because I was always scared. Like, oh, it was Keisha Robinson. Keisha Robinson, boy, I love that girl. She was a bulldog in high school. but look though, check it out. She was a bulldog in high school. She was a short little girl. I went to Carpenter Academy anyway. Keisha, boy. Keisha Watson. No, Robinson. No, Keisha Watson. Yeah, that's her name. Keisha Watson, not Robinson. I don't know. It's one of them. But anyway, me and her was in school. So she came to me. She says to me, she says, No. She said, oh, you gay, this and the other. So one day I was on the train and I was like, you know what? She's like, you need to just come out, just go away, come out, whatever. You be more free, you're free. So I was in the clubs, I was on everything, you know what I mean, at this time. And when I tell you I was in the clubs, I was in the clubs, I was in adult clubs, I was in the place you didn't even have your ass at the age that I was, you know. I wasn't even legal to be in certain place. I was drinking, getting high, smoking weed mainly. Didn't do anything else at the time, which is maybe smoking weed. But there wasn't really that. It was just, okay, I was looking for attention, looking for acceptance. You know, it was a lot of things that was going on. And so, Keisha friend, and actually me and this guy, we're friends to this day. It is so amazing. I try to keep in contact with all my friends. Sadell Gandhi. Okay, it was Sadell Gandhi. Little Topeka, little short, little thin guy. Okay. He had a little flirt. He had a little like for me at the time. And one day we had a couple. I stayed in Blue Island at the time, so on 127th and Parnell. He stayed on 127th in Michigan, somewhere. Anywhere, it was somewhere around there, off, you know. And so I was off 127th and Parnell out there in Blue Island. And so they'll say like about 5 blocks away from me, what have you. And I used to always go over there all the time. So his mom, what have you, they always used to be there. We used to always have so much fun during that time. And it was like, life was fun. Like, I enjoyed my life. I enjoyed my youth. You know, I didn't give a damn what people started to think of, say. You know, only two people that could break me or affect me the most was my mama. My mother and my family was the only ones, mainly my mom was the only one that could affect me the most. Family, I can give a damn. Hey, yeah, thank you, yeah, whatever. But the motherly, that was a whole nother ball game. Like, bitch, when I tell you, it put me in a whole nother turmoil feeling. You know, because it's like, okay, I'm going to do great straits, and how this possible? God is this. Okay, God no guy in line, blah, blah, blah. But I started to really trust him, you know. And so me and Sadell, we got together. Me and Sadell, we dated for a while. I was still battling with myself. I'm not gay. Oh, no, this is not me. This ain't right. And you already know the story behind that. It didn't go nowhere, okay? so, yeah. Ugh, I can't believe I just expressed it on freaking social media like that. But I can say that I can now, today. Because when you become okay with looking self in the mirror, and you become okay with your past, things you experienced, things you dealt with, and you're alive to talk about it. Don't beat yourself up. Okay? Allow your gift, like he said he'll make your gift room for you. You know, he'll allow the gifts and your storm and your pain to be a blessings to me, to plenty, to others. You know. And so it's just the process that you gotta go through. It's just the experiences, the storm that you had to go through. Like I mentioned yesterday on my resurfacing, I said, you know, it's mandatory that you gotta go through those storms. It's mandatory. Because if you don't, you steal from yourself and you begin to deny yourself. Okay? And what I mean by that is this. You begin to lose focus on your purpose. And this is the thing. The most critical thing in life is not knowing who you are. The most critical, dangerous thing anybody could deal with is not knowing who you are, why you're here, and what's your purpose. Those three questions everybody have in their minds. What's my purpose? Why I'm here? And who the fuck am I? Or who am I? Okay? That's most people's questions. Some people are still trying to figure it out to this day. They may be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, still trying to figure those things out. You know? So, like I tell people, you're never too old to learn, and you're never too young to teach. So, I began to say, you know what? A lot of things started to drift on me like, okay, something's got to be done. And this is once again, this is why I'm here today. Yeah. And so, you know, it was hell. It was hell. Let me tell you a little bit more about me. I'll just go talk to you. Went to college, like I said, didn't finish college. You know, most people thought I did, but I didn't finish college because God had something else in store for me. I actually contracted an illness at the time, and it was HIV. And I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I'm not ashamed to talk about nothing now. I contracted a virus at the time, HIV, and boy, when I told my family that, boy, I was like the disgust bucket of all disgust buckets. Okay, oh, we don't want you around us. Get your asses around. Like over there, they used to treat me badly. You used to go in the bathroom. They used to go behind me, clean it up. Make sure you clean the bathroom up. Make sure you clean the tub up. I don't want that virus. I don't want this. So it was more torture, more hurt. I start to begin to sink, sink in a way where you name it. But then I said, nah, you know what? God didn't tell me that, because I remember this revelation God gave me. So I stood to what God told me, what God showed me. I stuck to it. I stuck to it. And so for me to sit up here now and talk about this, and as we goes on, you're going to discover so much about that man. You're going to discover so much that he done in my life. So, and he's done in y'all too. Y'all just try to identify it or give knowledge towards it. You know what I mean? It's a lot. So I want to help you all. It's a lot I have to say, a lot I want to say, a lot I want to share, a lot that I'm willing to share about my life experiences, my life journey. Because look, people talking about this COVID-19, this is a plague. Wake up, people. Okay? All right, it's time for us to stop talking about, well, we're saints of God and we're on a journey for Jesus and we're getting the people prepared and yabba dabba do. Okay, so what are you doing? Let your life be a blessing. Let your life be a blessing. So, like I tell people, let your misery, the thing that hurted you, the thing that broke you, and you survived it, let that be your ministry. Don't hold it in. Let it be out. Don't let your pride, don't let the opinions of people or how family gonna feel. No, because while you doing that, you helping millions and millions of other people that maybe were stuck where you at or where you used to be, and they didn't even knew how to get out. So this is what I tell people all the time. If you're gonna talk about God, God is not in a box. Okay? Religious people put God in a box. Religious people utilize God as a bellsman. Religious people only use God for their own benefits. Religious people, not spiritual people. Since spiritual people is a whole different ballgame. Spiritual people are people that will take the religious aspect of things, the things they taught, the things they experience in life, at the same time, the thing that God gives them, to get an understanding to define the whole Nashara. And that's where I'm at. And that's why I don't mind bringing it to you all's attention. Because COVID-19 is a plague, okay? God said in his word, not only in Revelation, okay? He said in the end time, the rumors of words, but the end is not yet. Before the word end, got to first be healed. Now, this is where my first journey started when I started talking about the nutrition, the HIV thing. I went to this, it was in Chicago as well. I went to this, I know I'm all over the place, I'm going to jump back to it. But I went to, I was called in for a job. I was working for Marshall Field, like I said. I was called in for a job, and this lady, she came and she says, I was doing this Part.2, and she says, oh yeah, I like you, you work very good. I come here, and she comes there quite frequently. And she was just observing me. And she says, hey, how about you make more money doing this than the other? I said, okay. She said, hey, meet me here on Thursday at 6 o'clock. And it was like in Chinatown, like off of 35th somewhere. It was like it looked like a abandoned building, but it was actually an office building. Over there by DH, it was like a DHS office, or I mean a DHL or something over there in the area, somewhere over there, somewhere. I can't think at the time, but yeah, I went in there. I had $40 on me. I sat there through this little message, and I'm like, okay, during the whole time before I got there, I was always praying, always having time with God, and God would give me these things, whatever. So when certain things came to my attention, I kind of as we call it nowadays, go back into remembrance. So I went back into remembrance of something that occurred, and it all added up. So I went, and this is when I was introduced to Genesis, okay, where people call the Jesus juice or the miracle juice guy or what have you. This is where I discovered this at. I went there. And I sat through the whole presentation. It was somebody this nutrition herb and how it's doing. But the key thing that stuck out to me, because when it came on, it started talking about in the beginning was God, God was the Word. And so, I'm the Christian board, the church board, like, let me focus more on this. So, so it took me to a whole other level. And I'm like, okay, interesting. So I'm up there listening to it. When I tell you they start giving these samples out, I'm up here, I was already aching pain. They start giving these samples out. So I said, oh God, okay, I'm going to walk by faith. I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust you. And I was like, you know what? Nah, not today. Next thing you know, it came back to me again. Like about 2 or 3 months later. I went to my doctor. Doctor was like, okay, you're undetectable, blah, blah, blah. This and the other. And you're good to go. So I was like, okay. But my body was still feeling like iggy. I wasn't myself. I was still drained. I was, you name it. I went back again. And this time it came to me, I got introduced to this company again through a friend, through college. I was at college at this time, and this a friend of mine is telling me about this little job, call center thing, whatever, marketing job. And I was like, okay, I'll go check it out. So when I got there, I'm like, okay, this looked familiar. This looked very familiar. And so, when I got there, it was a whole different location, whole different everything. So I get there, I get inside, it gets to my juice. I'm like, God, what are you trying to tell me here? So, with the upbringing I was bringing, hearing stuff in church, hearing stuff through, your mom, your family, and reading the Bible and things of that nature. So, I didn't have no doubts on nothing. I didn't have no doubts on anything. I didn't have no doubts on God. My faith was nowhere near dim. My faith was like, okay, yeah, okay.